Last year, he released a double album retrospective, The Best of Tommy Songs, and most recently, the EP Imagine with John Lennon's composition and his own Since We Met. And I've always thought of you, and I'm pleased to be joined by Tommy Emmanuel. And welcome.
Hey, Lich, how you doing?
Nice to have you here. And
Yep.
thank you for accepting
Thank
our
you.
invitation, as I just mentioned. Tommy Songs,
Yeah.
double
Tommy
CDs.
Songs, yeah. I wanted to record uh, a double album of all original songs, just to, showcase my songwriting, to bring the focus to my songwriting rather than just my playing. And it was a joy to make that album. It was, um, when you have a good studio and you have a good sound in your headphones, and I'm in heaven when I'm sitting in front of a microphone with my acoustic guitar with headphones on. It's just, to me, it's the ultimate. And so I took my time. I spent 3 days recording that album. I normally cut an album in an afternoon, but that album I spent 3 days on, and I chose 24 songs.
Now, it
So
is a retrospective, but there's also new material on it as well.
there's 6 new songs on there.
Correct.
So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to bring everything. I re-recorded some of my really early stuff that people love, and I think my versions on this album are better than the originals, and because I'm playing better, and I think the sound is better.
Tommy, was it hard to pare down to those songs in particular?
Well, I left it open for a second album down the track.
We
Another
like that.
another 24.
Excellent. With bonus tracks, of course. That'll be
Yeah.
nice. What was the input for you to want to do Imagine, John Lennon's
Oh, I've always
composition,
loved
your EP?
Imagine. I just thought what the world needs right now is is some peace and love, and I just felt that the song Imagine is one of the greatest songs of peace ever written, and so I recorded it, and we decided to put it out with 2 of my original songs on there as an EP, and the thought behind it was to bring some love and some peace into the world late last year when things were going crazy.
Your rendition is stunning.
Thank you.
It's just stunning. Would you consider later on down the road then putting together an entire album of Beatle compositions with your style and your feeling and the way you would approach the songs?
I'm not sure. I love Beatles music, and a lot of people record a whole album of Beatles music. I don't know. A few people have mentioned that to me. I'm very fussy about songs. I don't believe that every Beatles song is going to make a good instrumental. It has to reach a certain level to me, and so it's the same thing as people doing covers of Michael Jackson songs. It just doesn't work because if it's the same thing over and over, and it's Michael Jackson's vocal that totally sells the song.
It doesn't transition well.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the power of a really good instrumental song. So, I'm really about taking the listener somewhere, telling them a story, taking them somewhere, filling their heart with music, and really the song has to be powerful to do that.
If we bring that whole thought process of yours just now together, and we think about how magnificently you entertain your audiences, however, you're also a musician's musician. How is the guitar an extension of your life, Tommy?
The guitar is, well, it's the biggest part of my life. I've never wanted to do anything else apart from play bass or drums. But playing the guitar to me is, the ultimate. It's a challenge, but it's fun and it's joyous and it brings a lot of love to people, and that's the reason. I don't know what happens to people, but something happens to people when I play, and I don't know what it is. It's not me. I haven't a clue what it is, but that's why I play, is because it affects people in a really good way. And people say their lives were changed when they came to a show, and they saw things differently. And it's just, I don't know. You just got to be open to it. I'm free and joyous about what I do, because I don't feel like I have to carry the burden of thinking, oh, I have to be the greatest, or I'm not weighed down by my own ego. I I play because I love to play, and I'm so fortunate that when I play, something happens to you.
The interesting thing is, I use that word. I was particular about using that word astounding, masterful, brilliant artistry. That word astounding is so appropriate, but you're also very, very humble, as I mentioned to you earlier, because we had spoken about 5 or 6 years ago. So with that, here's where the fingerprints of Tommy Emmanuel end and the guitar starts. So that guitar, tell me how it's an extension of who you are, your life.
Well, it's how I express myself, and sometimes I look down and think, how's all this music coming out of this little box, you know? And sometimes I don't know why, but there it is. It's right there. The music's actually in my head. I'm hearing everything as I'm playing, and that's why people say we could have sworn there was more people up there. It's just an illusion, and
Has the
it's
friend has the friend ever disappointed? The guitar being your best friend, has it ever disappointed?
oh no, no. The guitar is always beautiful. I'm the one who varies.
Exactly, because every day is a new day for the musician, not the guitar.
Exactly.
What challenges your artistry? What drives the pursuit of expertise and craft for you?
Um, it's just always been there ever since I was little. I was always reaching for more, for higher, for better, for. I invested in myself when I was young, 20, 25, 30 years old, and around that time, I spent every penny coming to America when I was living in Sydney, just so I could be inspired by seeing, other players like George Benson and Larry Carlton and people like that, and going to see shows and seeing people who did it so much better than everybody else, and it was inspiring to me, and that was, I was always pushing myself. Um, Now I'm in a good place because I still push myself, but I'm happy just being myself. I'm happy playing the way I play. There's no way I'm going to be able to play like Al Di Meola or Joe Satriani or some of those guys that are on that level, but I found a way of being happy playing the way I play.
The
And
toolbox of a masterful guitarist such as yourself, the toolbox. What are the tools you have to have in there?
well, good melody for a start. Melody, groove, tone, tuning, timing, feeling, everything. You have to have all that. It's the complete package.
Technique?
Technique, of course, but the technique is invisible. You don't, when you watch me play, you're not watching my technique. You're just enjoying the music. And that's how it should be, you know.
So speak to that then, the development of your craft, of your art form, of
Yeah.
your technique, of your feeling, of your musicality. When you bring them all together, expound on that for me.
Well, in order to play a lot of the songs that I play. You need to have a technique that can facilitate that. And I still work on my skills all the time. I was up this morning working on skills because they're so important to me, to be able to play something smoothly and sweetly that's really difficult to play. Chet Atkins was the master of that. He made it look like he was doing nothing, but you try to play what he was playing and it's damn near impossible. And so he was the one who really pointed that to me, get to work on your skills. And I find that part of my abilities fun and challenging. And, it's like anything else. You got to get up and get to work on it, You can't slack off. If you slack off, then you won't be able to play some of the things that you normally would attack with vim and vigor. I've got to be confident if I'm going to play certain songs that are really difficult to play. I got to attack them, and so I need to have my skill. I need to have my sword sharpened,
Yes. So that speaks to the technical end. On the other end, what kind of things, not people, particular things influence you as a musician?
Oh, my biggest influences are singers and songwriters. People like Carole King, James Taylor, Billy Joel, Stevie Wonder, Elton John, all those people who write songs that change the world, I want my music to do that. I'm not interested in impressing a bunch of people who read guitar magazines. I'm interested in changing the world with what I do to bring something wonderful to people's lives, and that takes good songs. So it's really all about the quality and integrity of what you do, your music, the quality of it, and whether it speaks to people and comes into their lives,
So it's the choice of songs.
Choice of songs,
Feeling. It's all of those things that you speak about that come together that you believe resonate the most with your audiences around the world.
Well, I use myself as a kind of guide in that area because I'm a 65-year-old guy who's lived a wonderful life, and I want to be moved by what's going on musically around me and through me. And so if I am moved by the song, I believe you will be too.
When you talk about that, a 65-year-old gentleman who's, again, I'm going to use this word, masterful on his instrument, what do you still to this day discover about Tommy Emmanuel's playing?
That it can vary, and that the fun is still there, and that the unknown is there. That's what I love about, like when I play concerts one after the other, when I'm on tour, every night it's a little different, and I try to fly my kite a little higher all the time. And when I'm improvising, I just see where it can go and what I can do, and sometimes what I can get away with.
Anything in this quest of artistry not realized yet for you?
Well, I'd like to be
mountain to climb.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's still time for me to write more songs, and I hope better songs. It's really about that. That's, I mean, I'm happy where I am as far as with my repertoire. I have a good repertoire to choose from, and I love playing my own songs. I love entertaining people, and I hope that in the future maybe there's more songs coming to me. I just have to I just have to be ready, you know.
The more you write, Tommy, does it become easier for you? Does it become more difficult? And how do you go about
Well,
composing a song for
I,
yourself?
I compose, I never think I'm just writing an instrumental, ever. I always think I'm writing a song for a singer and a band. And that singer and band is in my head. And so I write the song as if it's for other people to play and sing. And sometimes if you get a good idea, you get excited. You get physically and emotionally excited. And when I'm charged musically, I tend to stick at it until I finish the song. Sometimes, when you're looking for a good chorus for a song where you really love where it's going, you got to have the right chorus, and you got to know when you've got that. And sometimes that takes hours. Sometimes you have to put the guitar down and come back to it the next day, because you cannot force music. It has to flow through you. It has to come to you and flow through you. And and I learned that lesson a long time ago. That there's no point in me trying to force music, because it won't work.
We go back to the double CD, Best of Tommy Songs.
Yeah.
And I mentioned the Song for a Rainy Day, Fuel, The Wide Ocean, Timberland, Sail On. What kind of things do you feel on those particular songs? What goes through
Well,
you as you
they're
just
they're
mentioned?
all new songs. The ones you just said
Yes.
are all new songs. Um, they're precious to me because I wrote them just recently. Sail On, I wrote for my brother who died, and Song for a Rainy Morning came from a dream about him and my sister who passed away. And those songs are precious to me. They're personal to me, and I love them. They're simple melodies, um, but they don't sound like anyone else. They have my sound, and that's why I called the album Tommy Songs, because I was inspired by Jerry Reed's song Reedology. I thought, what a cool title to get his name, Reed, into the song. How can I get my name into my music? So I came up with Tommy Songs. These songs sound like me, so they're Tommy
I
Songs.
love that. When we think about you playing with Chet, when we think about this CD with John
Yeah.
Knowles, not necessarily somebody who's still with us now, but perhaps somebody who's moved on. Any guitar player who you would have relished to do an album with?
Uh, George Harrison would have been great, for sure. Um, but I'd love to have been a rhythm player for Django.
I was just going to ask you if you would have wanted to play with Django Reinhardt.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, I'd love to have been his rhythm player. Being a rhythm player is one of the greatest thrills of my life. I love it, and it's probably what I do best. And when Martin Taylor and I play together, it's like magic. He has a way of playing single line melody like it's right out of the 40s. It's right out of the 40s. And he I play rhythm like Freddie Green with
Count
Count,
Basie.
just and I love that, and I love keeping a groove and backing him up and moving the bass around and all that. That's one of my favorite things to do as a player, is be an accompanist.
Tommy, when we talk about technique, and we were mentioning musical prowess, and your technique especially, seamless, flawless, lucid, fluid, and then you think about Django Reinhardt, the fire, and the way it really, his hand was just what it did to his hand and his craft and his art form, and yet he's still that was just an obstacle on the path to liberation. He still circumvented that.
Oh,
You think about his
yeah,
plan.
he steamrolled his way straight through it, and it was brilliant.
How
And
does somebody like that overcome?
it's a human spirit, you know. What's more important to him? What was what was important to him was to play music, and he knew how to play music. He knew how to improvise, and he had uh, a uh, a handicap that was not going to hold him back. Didn't matter. You know, people say to me, well, what would happen if you hurt your hands? I say, I learned to play with my toes. Whatever. I'm going to make music whether I've got hands or not. I'm going to make music. And that's all there is about it.
What is it about playing solo? Because most of the time when you're on the road touring, people
Mm.
come to see you solo.
Yeah.
What how do you feel you capture that audience, capture that stage, capture that theater,
Mm.
one man?
Well, I love the fact that it's just me in the audience and that I can take it any which way I want. Um, it's challenging and it's beautiful. Um, and I enjoy it because I can switch modes at any time. I can be playing a song and go into something completely different. I don't have to tell people what I'm doing next. I can just fly the kite, you know. So I never use a set list. I just decide at the last minute what I'm going to start with, and then I'm off. And um, I love having that relationship with my audience where it's just me and them. I love that.
If you could say right now, because you can't go on the road, you can't tour right now, you can't go into the theaters and perform,
Yeah.
the words you would want to resonate with the audience right now, Tommy Emmanuel's words would be.
Um, uh, Listen to music and sing. You know, get your play music that you want to sing along with because singing will make you happy. And singing's the first instrument. So, you know, find your favorite music and your favorite songs, play them and sing along with them, you know. And I look forward to when I can return to the stage and play my music for you.
Tell me, why is the stage a privileged place to be?
Because you're up there and people are giving you their undivided attention. So you better give them something that is bigger than you. You know, I always look at playing music is my calling. It's when I play, you get happy. That's my calling, and so being in that position is a privileged place, and I don't take anything for granted. I'm very grateful to be there. I'm very grateful to be on stage, and there are no words to describe how wonderful it is sometimes.
CDs, Accomplice One,
Yeah,
live at Ryman.
yeah,
That's also Get On Here, Tommy songs, the best of, and of course the new EP, Imagine.
yeah.
Imagine seeing Tommy Emmanuel the next time he comes through to your city, and you will see a concert like no other. Tommy
Oh,
Emmanuel, thank you for doing
thank
this.
you, Lich. I really, really appreciate that. And it's great to, I wasn't sure what we were going to talk about today, but, I don't always get a chance to talk about things like technique,
Please come
or
back. Please come
what's
back.
personally going on. You don't always get a chance to talk about things like that. And it's precious to me that you ask me those kind of questions. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And please come back. Please come back again.
Okay, brother.
Tommy Emmanuel. And I thank you very much. That is our conversation with Tommy Emmanuel. On behalf of all my colleagues here at On Deck Sound Studio, Tracy Walton, thank you for being here with us. May your happiness increase always, in always, and keep me in your thoughts.